So my story starts with my parents' divorce when I was age 4. They didn't have a healthy marriage, so in all reality, it is good that they got a divorce. However, my mother dislikes my father, and my father dislikes my mother, and they didn't hide that from each other or me. So they had joint custody, and I would literally swap houses every other day. So for my parents to tell me your father is rotten or your mother is a bitch, it makes you feel guilty for loving both your parents, because one or the other kind of indicates you shouldn't be doing that because they're a terrible person, even though they might be good to you. So that started with my anxiety and my intimacy issues and, abandonment issues. And then further down the road, my mother proved to be incredibly strict and very overbearing with grades and everything else. Any move I made had to be bypassed through her. And then my father was very hard on me. You don't cry when you're sad, and you don't talk back, and you be invisible, because that's the kind of kid that is a good kid. You need to be a perfect child without knowing what that is. So that includes a lot of anxiety, because who knows how to be perfect even to this day? Nobody, let alone a 5-year-old. So I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of depression because I couldn't voice my concerns. I always felt lost in my own mix. I felt unappreciated from every angle, because you tend to get drowned out by your parents, and they don't realize they're doing it to you. It's not intentional, it's just who they are. And they do try their best, but ultimately sometimes it hurts more than it helps. Further down the line, after my parents' divorce, my mother had a very controlling boyfriend. He was manipulative to her and dismissive to me, further proving that males just are nasty in general, and that's what you need to accept. He tried to take his own life, which shocked both of us, definitely rocked me to my core. In the apartment my mother and I were living in, we had a break-in on a daily basis. We didn't know it, but our neighbor was breaking in and stealing things such as underwear, collecting photos, collecting case files of us, which made me fear for my own sanity to the point where I couldn't sleep in my own bed, which made me fearful of life overall rather than just everyday life. It was every move I made, even in my own house. To add to that, my great-grandmother was murdered when I was in 4th grade. It was a brutal murder, and that's something you're not ready for when you're in 4th grade. You're not ready to know what death is, let alone that it can be morbid. So it really made me scared for every move I made in my life, every single thing that I did with anybody, anywhere. That's where my deep-seated anxiety comes from, and my deep-seated understanding that males are supposed to be toxic, even though we all know that's not true and that's not what you should be looking for. It led me to several relationships were very toxic and very hurtful to me ultimately. I've learned a lot, but it took me a long time to be able to stand up for myself and feel that I am worthy of more. So with all of that said, that's where my journey began, and where I'm at now is learning that I am worth something and that I can come back from everything that I have done so far and gone through, and I can be more than what my past has written me out to be.